Nutritional deficiencies that can cause heart failure. Heart failure is a syndrome from the heart not being strong enough to contract. Well, you see, we have a problem. There is an epidemic of vitamin D deficiency in the Western world today, and people are unaware of it because they are measuring cholesterol. We need to stop the obsession with measuring cholesterol, which is useless, and start measuring things that are truly useful. Vitamin D is the main regulator of the immune system. And what is the immune system? It is the defense system. And what do we need to defend ourselves from? From two things: infections and cancer. Because the body detects cancer cells and activates certain white blood cells called natural killers. Natural killers. That name carries weight. We have natural killer cells in our circulation. All of this is controlled by vitamin D. Therefore, a sustained low deficiency of vitamin D over time can promote the onset of cancer and infections. And where does vitamin D come from? From the sun, the sunlight, interacting with a molecule of cholesterol in the skin. Cholesterol is the precursor of vitamin D, and we are lowering it like crazy. Coenzyme Q, selenium, thiamine, carnitine, and magnesium. Back to magnesium. When you don't have magnesium, you can have heart failure and a weak heart. What happens? A healthy cell has little calcium inside. This relates to the supplements. A healthy cell must have a lot of magnesium inside and little calcium. When you don't have sufficient magnesium levels, what you have is a lot of calcium inside, and that causes problems. That causes problems. Statins, which reduce cholesterol through this pathway, if we block here, we block the production of cholesterol, and they also block the production of coenzyme Q. And this is an unknown problem, as we think that cholesterol is bad, and we are harming coenzyme Q. What is coenzyme Q? This is how we obtain energy in the cells. There is a thing called the electron transport chain where energy is produced in the cell. And in that chain I have expanded here. Coenzyme Q is a fundamental part. Doctor, I'm tired. How is your magnesium? I don't know. Do you take pills for cholesterol? Yes. Can I take them off? No, because my primary care doctor will get angry. Okay. Yes. Well, what about the cardiologist? The lack of coenzyme Q can lead to evident mitochondrial disease. If you are blocking the fuel of the mitochondria, which is coenzyme Q, you are leading to mitochondrial disease. What are mitochondrial diseases? Diastolic dysfunction, which is a very cardiological term, Parkinson's disease, migraine, autism, fibromyalgia, many muscular problems, promoting mercury toxicity, congenital metabolic errors in the newborn. Coenzyme Q is produced with difficulty in the body after the age of 40. In particular, observe how the production of coenzyme Q in the heart declines after the age of 40. It is therefore a paradox that starting at the age of 40, in an effort to protect the heart, we are giving pills for cholesterol that actually lower its main source of energy, which is called coenzyme Q. This is a mistake that we will gradually need to correct if we want to improve in cardiological treatments. Another supplement that greatly aids in cardiac function is L-carnitine. I have provided a study with over 3,600 patients that demonstrates that L-carnitine, which you will see in the master's program, reduces the cause of mortality, decreases angina symptoms, and reduces malignant arrhythmias by up to 65. These are data that are extremely important to consider in an orthomolecular context. Orthomolecular, ortho from the Greek meaning correct. The correct molecules, just like spelling, orthodontics, orthopedics. Orthomolecular refers to the correct molecules at every moment of my life. If I have the right molecules, then I have a better chance of being healthy. Stunned myocardium refers to the myocardium that remains around the infarcted area, and if we help the heart with the supplements it needs, we will achieve better results. Chromium. We are almost done. I only have a few slides left. Chromium is a very interesting element. Here in this article from a prestigious American endocrinology diabetes journal, it is demonstrated that chromium is a supplement that plays a fundamental role in the treatment of diabetes because it improves the sensitivity of the insulin receptor which is one of the problems faced by diabetics. It enhances the ability of insulin to work in the cell. That is trivalent chromium, because the same chromium, but in a form called hexavalent, which is a chemical change, is toxic and is one of the toxins that we will see in the talk about heavy metals. We need the same trivalent chromium, but hexavalent chromium is toxic and very toxic. Chromium is what makes steel stainless, as it is very resistant to oxidation. More chromium means stainless steel. Since we are filled with stainless steel in our kitchen, some chromium gets to us. Where is taurine? In a commercial product, well, I'm not going to advertise it, but it's a brand that sponsors Formula One and gives you the, well, that one is very toxic, okay? Not that one, the one that gives you wings, right? But taurine in an appropriate supplement is an antagonist of angiotensin. 2. Ask a cardiologist what the angiotensin inhibitors are. Well, losartan, candesartan, that bunch of drugs that end in sartan. Listen, but I have one that if we give magnesium and taurine, 2009, we are doing the same thing as if I had prescribed amlodipine and losartan. Well, yes, and in a more natural way, in a more biological way. Taurine is a derivative of methionine. Some classify it as an amino acid in its own right. It reduces oxidative stress, alleviates diabetes, improves heart function, and protects against myocardial damage due to ischemia. There is one thing that happens after a heart attack. When you reopen the artery, there is reperfusion damage. The heart attack causes two types of damage to the heart, when it is blocked and when the artery is opened. This protects. Another essential micronutrient, selenium, which can become toxic in large amounts. Therefore, it is also important to know how to manage this. Selenium. There is a clinical case here from a pediatrics journal that when there is not enough selenium, the heart dilates and functions poorly in children. And here is another heart failure resulting from selenium deficiency. Where is selenium? Does anyone know? Well, task. Where is selenium found? Vitamin K. Vitamin K is essential to prevent calcium from depositing in the arteries. When you have a deficiency of vitamin K, the arteries tend to calcify. Vitamin C. This man, Linus Pauling, won a Nobel Prize, was someone in science, and is considered the father of orthomolecular medicine. All medicine should be orthomolecular, but we have strayed so far from the path that now there is a kind of name that tries to bring us back to the path of orthomolecular medicine. And he described a very nice theory of how a deficiency of vitamin C, not at the level of scurvy, which is the severe deficiency, but a mild deficiency of vitamin C maintained over time, causes the arteries to degenerate and is the initial step of the phenomenon we know as arteriosclerosis. Because vitamin C is key in many parts of the artery. As you can see, it has nothing to do with cholesterol depositing in the arteries. This is something that needs to be understood. Why do the arteries become inflamed? Why is vitamin C important? 2009. Why is the balance of calcium and magnesium important? Why is vitamin K important? The functions of cholesterol. I have become something of a lawyer for cholesterol. Cholesterol is a very important component of animal membranes, because cell membranes are flexible. The cell wall of plants is rigid. The plant is rigid. We need to be flexible and require lipids, including cholesterol, for the cell to function well, especially neuronal cells. There are studies, brain cells, nerve cells, and recent studies in the field of basic neurology that are beginning to demonstrate that very low cholesterol is associated with neurodegenerative neurological problems. As I told you before, cholesterol is the precursor of vitamin D, and it is the precursor of sex hormones, progesterone, estrogens, and testosterone. It is the precursor of cortisol and aldosterone, which are the hormones produced in the adrenal glands, and this hormonal axis is key, and it is the precursor of bile salts, which are essential for the absorption of certain nutrients, especially fats. It is anti-inflammatory because it blocks thromboxanes and arachidonic acid, which are bad lipids, that cholesterol blocks. So we need to start getting rid of the idea that bad cholesterol is bad, that low is good, and that statins are good. and that everyone should be treated with statins starting at age 40 to save us from heart attacks. That is not real, and there is evidence that proves it.